What's going on, guys? Welcome to Actual Factual. Today we are joined by a man, the myth, Salvatore Jakobs. I have known this man for
Salvatore.
12 plus years, and yeah, let's get into it, man. So, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Just living the dream. Just another day, man. So let's get into how we met, shall we? So the way that I remember it was you owned a house. I forget exactly where the house was. Doesn't matter. Doesn't need to be said. But whenever I showed up to the house, um, you were jamming Pantera and shooting guns. And I walked up and I was like,
Well,
"Hi, I'm
these things happen.
Justin."
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So yeah, and then after that, we played
Yeah,
in a
that's about
band
right.
together. Yeah, yeah. Then we played in a band
Yeah, not a very
together.
good band for the band.
I mean, hey man, it was an experience. What we had when
Indeed,
we
indeed.
initially we started the band, it was me, you, Joey, and I forget what the other guy's name was. Dude that originally played bass.
Brian,
Yeah. So it was all of
Yeah.
us, and I was 18, 19 at the time.
you were young. I know that. I
Yeah.
was
I
like
believe.
you before
Yeah, you were, and then what an interesting thing. Oh yeah, and I forgot Stokes was the drummer, or not the drummer, the singer. I forgot about
now. He
that.
was the original singer, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've all and then after that, kind of went on more of I would say a hiatus, if you will. Not really a hiatus, more like I moved, and
Yeah,
we've always remained friends though, and that's the important thing. So
no doubt, no doubt.
anyway, so let's talk about some things going on in your life. So what do you do? What are you in? What are you getting into? Let's talk about it all.
Oh wow. Well, there's a lot to cover. Um, lately I've been trying to get acting because I got into acting during the pandemic
Mm,
just on a whim out of nowhere. I wanted to be a part of this trivia thing.
yeah,
And next thing I know, I got offered a movie role, and I'm fast forward a week or two later, and I'm playing twins in this movie. It was nuts. It was very cool though. But I'm still trying to do that. Things are a little rough these days because during the pandemic, all of your big A-list actors decided to become voice actors, so there's not as much work for the little guy.
yeah.
That got another band going, of course. Bombshele and the Bangs album's out
Mm-hmm.
now on all the streaming things, which you're well aware of. You helped us record the damn album.
Yeah.
Working on another one right now. Hopefully, that'll get going. We have a pretty decent show coming up at a block party in the Hill District on April 27th. That
Mm,
hopefully should be a pretty good show. And killing time with DJing and bartending, to pay the bills while I'm trying to get all this other stuff taken off.
yeah. Oh, by the way, I just want to say too, if anybody has watched any of my karaoke videos, especially the last one I put out, this nice young man right here is the guy that gives me a kiss on the cheek right before I hack away at Euclid.
Very true, very true.
Oh man. So I
You
also want to say,
occasionally see my thick self walking through the shots as well.
oh yes. So you're in more than one. I'm just saying the one that most people will like recognize you from is that Euclid one though.
Yeah,
But
no doubt.
but so all right. So Bombshell and the Bangs.
Bebe.
How did that start? How'd you get into it? What all is going on there?
See, that's actually kind of an interesting story in itself because uh, our mutual friend Dave,
Hmm.
he just decided to start a project with our other one buddy at the bar named Rob, who was actually the original drummer.
Yeah.
And he just looked at me one day. He's like, I need a bass player. You know how to play guitar? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, you're a bass player now. And he gave me a bass. He's like, here, figure it out.
Mm.
And I was like, okay. So I just picked it up and started thwacking at it. And turns out I have I don't want to say I have like a really good understanding of the instrument, but it made sense to me. Like it was just
Okay.
fun to play, easy to play.
Yeah.
And then his wife hopped in, became the singer, and next thing you know, we're actually doing pretty dang well. Like we sing really well together, we write really well together, and it's just been about 3 years and change now, and we're still just going after it, man, trying to do as much as we can.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Something I think I would be funny to bring up. So I remember at one point in time, we went to a mayhem festival together.
Yeah, I remember that.
All right.
Yeah,
So at the time, I was dating a girl, and she was about to get demolished by the pit. You know what I mean? Like,
oh
so
yeah, yeah. She almost got ran over.
yeah. So he grabs her, like moves her over, if you will, and she was like, "Ugh, why'd you do that?"
Yeah, she was like
Give
totally
me your
offended that I put my hands on her body at all, and I'm like, I just touched
right.
your shoulders.
Moved you over. Um. So what else you got going on, man? What do you have any solo ideas or anything like that?
I've been working on some screenplays, but that's mainly it.
Yeah.
Not nothing in music. You know, I
Yeah.
had my solo time with music. We're doing the cheap date thing, but that
Yeah.
was many years ago, and I just really don't feel that anymore. But no, I'm working on a couple different screenplays. Me and my one buddy Phil are trying to get a small horror production company up, you know, doing films, and he's really good at special effects, and he's comes
Yeah.
up with these great ideas. He just needs someone to help him focus, and that's kind of how I got drug in as the director, and
Fair.
I end up acting in every single project at least a little bit because it's what I do.
Yeah.
So
Oh, well, I mean that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool.
yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with it.
So what kind of movies do you mostly watch? Are you more of a horror fan? Are you more of a sci-fi fan?
I'll watch just about anything, but I mean, you really nailed it on the head. Like horror and sci-fi are pretty much my go-tos. If I want to watch something, that's where I'm going first.
What's
You
your
know,
what's your all-time three favorite movies?
oh, see that's a tricky thing there because I don't really like I have a favorite by genre. You know,
Okay,
I kind of like to break it down like that.
all right.
Like,
Give me your favorite sci-fi movie. Give me your favorite horror movie, and go comedy. Third favorite comedy as well.
okay, favorite sci-fi. It's actually an action sci-fi, but it still qualifies to be Terminator 2,
Okay.
honestly. My favorite horror film is a little tricky because there's two that I just keep going back and forth with. It used to be a no-brainer. The original Jaws was
Okay.
my favorite horror film. But now, honestly, the It Chapter 1 is incredibly done. Like,
Mm,
it creeped me the hell out, and that's kind of what I look for in horror.
yeah.
Comedy, OG Ghostbusters. That's not even a question. That movie had me peeing my pants in the theater when I was a little kid. I was
Oh,
dying
really?
laughing. I thought it was hysterical. And I
You
still,
think
to this day, I still watch it. I still laugh.
what were your thoughts on the newest Ghostbusters?
Frozen Empire, I haven't seen yet.
Okay,
I
fair
have
enough.
yet to see the newest one. The one before it, Afterlife, I thought was honestly going to be the end of it. I thought that was like a nice farewell to the entire franchise.
Yeah.
You know, a nice farewell to Harold Ramis, who passed away sadly before they, well before they got into production. And like just moving on from that group of characters and then moving on to this new group of Ghostbusters.
Mm.
Unfortunately, though, the movie made a ton of money, so of course that the studio's going to want to make more.
Oh,
So we
absolutely.
got another one
Absolutely.
out. And I'm hoping for the best, but I'm not getting my hopes up too high for this.
I feel you. I feel you. So I also know that you're really into comic books and Star Wars, and I figured we could geek out a little bit about it. So,
I mean, I am an ordained Jedi, so yeah. I mean, I am
yeah.
definitely into Star Wars.
All right, let me ask you something. Who would win in a battle, Darth Vader or Iron Man?
Darth Vader.
Darth Vader?
Darth Vader.
Okay. Batman versus Luke Skywalker.
See, the Force trumps pretty much everything, in my opinion. So if you're giving me a Jedi versus a comic book guy, it's going to be the Jedi every time.
Okay. All right.
Pretty
All
much.
right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Batman versus Iron Man.
See, that's two boys and their expensive toys. That's a tricky one. I think I'd have to go with Batman, though.
Why?
I mean,
What's the reasoning?
pure brutality. Like Iron Man's got his toys, Batman's got his toys. They both
Right.
have very keen intellect. Iron Man knows how to build shit really, really well.
Mm,
The Bat can just grab you and beat the crap out of you.
yeah. Yeah.
Like he really can. He actually scares the ever living hell out of just about everybody he fights. So
Yeah.
he has
Who do
criminal.
you who do you think are the three worst villains in all of it?
Oh, and all of comic books, top of the pops, Condiment King. He's terrible. Like he shouldn't exist. Calendar Man is another one that sucks. And honestly, a lot of people, this one might be a little controversial. Dr. Freeze.
I kind of agree. I think Doctor Freeze is not that great of a character. Like I
No,
get it. You loved your wife and you cryogenically caused yourself to freeze or something like that. But yeah, I don't really have the respect for that character to be honest either.
it just doesn't make sense to me. It really don't.
Yeah. Who's your three top villains?
Who? Uh, I mean, you got to put Thanos on there. The guy was just Thanos, Dark Side. Trying to think who my personal favorite would be though, because I like those two guys. You got to put them up there. They just have to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Hmm. I mean, it's almost cliche to say Joker at this point.
I mean,
Really, but I mean, the guy's got style. That
he
makes a big
does.
difference, though.
He
That makes a
does.
huge difference to me. He's got
Who
mad style.
who do you think played the best Joker?
Jack Nicholson.
Really?
If we're talking live action, yeah, I would go Jack Nicholson. I mean, Heath Ledger was incredible in the
Mm,
role. Don't get me wrong. He brought something new to the table that no one else had.
yeah.
But as far as the live action ones we've seen that have really just tried to stay strictly old school, like the comics, I would have to
Yeah.
say Nicholson. I mean, but it's hard to argue with Jack Nicholson. The guy's got more Oscars than anybody else in history. So
Right, right. All right. So, who is who is your favorite band ever?
Kiss.
Why?
I literally grew up with them. Like not
Okay.
them personally, but their
Right,
music.
right, right.
You as a young kid growing up in Queens, New York, they were like royalty there because they're also from New York.
Mm,
And they had so many hits, and it was such a like when I first got into Kiss, they still had makeup on all the time. Like they wouldn't let their faces be shown in public. So there was this mystique about them that just kind of drew everyone to want to know what they really looked like. Then they took the makeup off and we were like, all right, put it back on.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
So,
that their music is just simple rock.
mm,
It stands
what's
for keep it simple, stupid.
yeah? What's your top three albums of all time?
Top three albums of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell.
Good album. Good album.
Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction. And Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Those those are all solid picks. Solid picks.
Shows how old I am too.
I mean, hey, man. I can't help that you and Dirk have a very close relationship.
Yeah, right. Hey, we all age. It's a thing.
Um, what is your favorite Bombshell in the Bang song that you have?
Bada boom.
Bada boom.
Yeah. And I'm biased a little bit because that's the song that I had the most hand in writing. I didn't write the whole thing myself, but I wrote a damn good chunk of that thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I wrote all the lyrics and the vocal tones, and it's the only one I actually came up with the hook for. You know, the
Mm,
actual chorus.
yeah. Let's see. What else? What else did I wanted to ask you? What's your thoughts on the recent P. Diddy thing, man?
I don't have any thoughts on the recent P Diddy thing because I didn't even know like what's the new P Diddy thing. Tell me about it, and I'll give
Uh
you my thoughts.
P. Diddy, I guess, well, Cat Williams had that interview or whatever that blew up with I forget what the dude's name is, but he had this interview with this guy, and he's like on NFL Network or CBS or something like that. He had an interview with this guy,
Okay.
and Cat Williams just spilt the beans on so much stuff going on in Hollywood with
Oh,
with all kinds of stuff. Well, P. Diddy's house just got raided, and his neighbor drove by and was like, "Dude brings like school buses of children over here at like 3 a.m."
what?
Yep, yep,
Okay. That's disgusting.
yeah,
That
yeah.
is
I
absolutely
agree.
disgusting. I don't want to know why. I really don't. That's
I
something I will live my whole life being very happy not knowing.
yeah,
Uh, wow. Wow. Well, it just goes to show you, man. Some of these people are just pieces of garbage. I mean,
yeah.
you
Absolutely. I
know,
mean, the other thing too is I don't know if you've had the time yet or not. Did you see that Nickelodeon just came out with a documentary too about like the children of Nickelodeon and all that?
I briefly heard about the Nickelodeon documentary, but I know
Yeah,
nothing of it. I haven't
it's
seen.
I haven't really watched it either. I do know a decent amount about it just through social media and stuff like that. It seems I don't know. I don't know. That's a whole mess that I don't really like. I don't want to dig into, but it is what it is. I
Right.
think virtually that the parents should have been a little more involved, and I think that
Well, yeah, I
things.
know that Alanis Morissette has come out and said some pretty damning things about the Nickelodeon in general,
Yeah,
like everything
yeah,
that we did.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely an interesting world that I feel like a lot of people don't will never understand. Hopefully, like because it's a whole mess. Um, Anyway, let's get on something fun here, dude. All right, so
I'm down. I'm down. Let's talk about something way more better than
yeah, 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 yeah.
garbage people in Hollywood.
So let's see. What What do you think is the funniest thing we have ever done together?
Oh God, I don't know, man. We've had a lot of laughs. Like,
We have.
oh,
What's a personal favorite memory?
so you put me on the spot. And you're making my old ass think. I had a blast at the studio, man. Just everything about
Oh
it.
yeah.
Like
Oh
when
yeah,
we were
dude.
there putting that album together, just being there in that environment and goofing
Yeah.
off, doing all the silly crap that we always did. Um, Another fun thing comes when you came and apologized to me because you uh, had sex with your girlfriend on my couch. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
where?
I forgot about that, dude.
Like,
I
bro, it's
forgot about
a
that.
couch. Like, that's what couches are for, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, fuck yeah. Um, Dude, so one of my favorite things ever, dude, that I remember is like on the way home from the Mayhem Fest, and I was like, dude, I think this girl wants to like hook up with me, and you were all like, then do it, dude, Jesus,
Right?
like my God. What is your favorite alcoholic drink?
Uh, Probably Coors Light, just beer.
Mm.
I'm kind of a basic person like that.
I feel like I know that you just made a new drink at the bar.
I
What what
did. I
what is that thing called, and what is it?
I call it a dumpster fire. And the origin of that was Eric, my 20-year-old. He came down and showed me and his mom a picture of this thing called an inception bomb, which was like 3 separate bombs that you're supposed to do in a row.
Is it? Are you talking like kind of like Jaeger bombs and stuff like that?
Yeah, basically,
Okay,
like
all right,
but it was like 3 of them you had to do in a row.
yeah,
Even though the last one's technically not a bomb, it's just a vodka and cranberry. But
right.
so I was like, you know what, that's entirely too much work, and that's too many dishes for me to do at the end of the shift. So I turned it into a mixed drink. I just took the ingredients that they had and put it together. So it's Jägermeister,
Okay,
vodka, tequila, cranberry, and a little splash of energy drink. You garnish it with a lime. The thing turns purple for some reason. And we just call it a dumpster fire, and it will get you hammered really fast.
you should just call it Grimace.
I thought about it, but we had a conversation at the bar the other day about how Grimace is shaped like a butt plug, and he's named Grimace.
I
And
like how
the
the
Star Wars poster bites the dust.
It's all right. It's all right. We'll just put it over here for now. It'll be fine.
Oh, production issue here.
You're fine. Whatever, dude. I love the fact that like, so I've only been doing this for like 2 days, which is cool, you know. And like, so I finally bought an actual like recording like studio, if you will, like the thing that we're on right now. So I've been doing the last 2 videos on my on the camera of the computer itself. And I've been able to like pause it and come back and be like, and then like go back to like what I was doing before. But I don't know how to do that with this. And I'm just like, oh, I wish I could do that.
Yeah,
But
no, I watched the trailer.
You watched the trailer?
I did. I saw your you had like the trailer for the channel. Like I watched.
I did? That's crazy. I didn't even know I did that.
Well, it was like yesterday or the day before.
Oh, you're talking about the pilot episode
The
or
pilot
whatever.
episode. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. I was like, I had a trailer. That's awesome. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did all that in one take too. Like, I didn't like do anything else. I probably started that about 40 times though, like trying to like get the opening right. I was like, this is actual factual. And then I would like take like 5 minutes to be like, that sounded so stupid. Delete. You know,
we can't use that.
I swear, I tell you what, young man, it is just you gotta get it right or you get it wrong. You know what I mean? I'm also kind of excited too with just honestly for me, this podcast is going. I like to do this kind of shit. I like to be able to talk to people about whatever, whenever. You know what I mean? It's kind of cool for that aspect of it because it's like I get perspectives on life from all different kinds of people. I mean, granted, I see you every week. You know what I mean? Like it ain't like I don't see you, brother. You know what I mean? But
no, we see each other all the time.
Right. But like I'm actually also really excited too, like having people from different parts of the world even come on here and talk too. It's kind of exciting.
That'd be awesome.
Part of it. Yeah. And it's like it gives you a different perspective on how life is in other places. I'm really excited to get some people that aren't from the US on here too. Like I think that'll be really sick and like be able to like and understand and experience what their life is like too. Now so you were from New York, right?
Originally,
what do you recall from New York? Tell me about it, man, because I've never been.
You never been? Well, I lived in Queens, so it's one of the boroughs of the city, but it's still kind of like a neighborhood, aspect. Okay. Like anybody who's watching this in like where we're at near Pittsburgh, if you look out your window, you'll see more trees just in your view than I saw in my entire neighborhood. It was, nice houses, but really close together. If you had a super nice house, you had a yard, and the yard was usually about the size of a living room. Like it's not very big.
Yeah.
Just busy people, always doing something, always moving, always trying to do stuff. Like our favorite pastime as kids was there was a gas station at the end of our street, a Gulf station. It had one of them air tubes that dinged when the car ran it over.
Yeah.
We'd always try to ride. We'd ride our bikes over it just to make it ding, and the guy would come out and bitch at us, and we'd ride away laughing. Like, that was one of our favorite things to do, and we did it 2-3 times a day without even thinking about it. Like ding, 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 and off we
Yeah.
ran. Went to the movies a ton because there isn't a
Yeah.
whole pile to do. Like
So
you pretty
whenever,
much
so in
entertain
New
yourself.
York, so in New York, would you say that like the boroughs themselves are how different are they comparatively, if you will?
So they all have their own individual
Style?
identity, if you will, yeah, and
Yeah.
style. Like, but if you went there as someone who had never been to New York, you wouldn't notice all the subtle little differences. You probably wouldn't even hear the subtle differences in people's accents from borough to borough.
Yeah.
But you definitely would like, oh wow, this is not where I'm used to. This is totally different than everything I've ever experienced before.
Yeah.
Like I took my wife there back in 2005. Like it was a while ago,
Yeah.
and she was just blown away. She saw so many things just in the taxi ride from the airport to my sister's place.
Yeah.
Like she thought all of it was like just movie cliches and things like that. And then she saw them live in person, like the taxi driver with the beaded seat and the little crown on the freaking dashboard.
Mm.
Construction vehicles with people just piled into the front of it, smiling, like literally just driving down the road, girl, just happy as hell.
Yeah.
Going to a pizza shop, and she realized that the slices are huge there.
What
You know,
do you think? All right, let me ask you. What do you think is the best slice of pizza in New York that you can get that you
Gino.
remember?
I remember going to a place called Gino's that was in my neighborhood, and it
Mm.
like I compare every piece of pizza I ever eat to that place. So I would definitely say that has to be my personal favorite,
Yeah.
without a question. And I'm a
Okay.
plain pizza guy. I don't need a million toppings on that thing. Just give me a slice with some extra cheese, and I'm a happy guy.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. What else? What else do we got? What is your favorite Star Wars movie?
Empire Strikes Back.
Why?
Because I'm a pretentious douche.
Right.
It has the deepest story, that twist that everybody knows at this point. Like you can't imagine what it felt like. I was 3 when that movie came out. So seeing that in the theater and then just finding out that the big bad guy of all big bad guys is actually the good guy's dad, like that floored the entire. You heard the entire freaking crowd go, like literally,
Yeah.
it was nuts. And like I like how they brought in Yoda and they just expanded upon the original
Yeah.
in a way where it didn't feel like they were just. It didn't feel like a sequel. It felt like a continuation of the story.
Yeah.
It's like they weren't rehashing the first one because like the worst, in my opinion, one of the worst sequels ever made is Jaws 2 because they basically just tried to remake the first movie and failed.
Yeah.
Like the Jaws movies, diminishing returns all day long. Like they just can get progressively worse.
I forget what the name of the one is, but the one that I remember watching a lot as a child was the one where they're like in the Bahamas.
Jaws the Revenge, 1987, and it's trash.
No. This one was made in like the mid 2000s. Maybe it was Jamaica. Maybe it was something. They were on like.
No, there's only 4 Jaws movies, man.
Oh, really? All right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The first one came out in 75, 78, 83, and 87.
Okay.
That's when they came out. And yeah, it's called Jaws the Revenge. It's
Mm,
actually Jaws 4. And yeah, no, this shark follows the original protagonist's widow rather,
yeah,
from New York to the Bahamas.
because that's logical,
Yeah, because that's something a shark would do.
right? So that shark has sonar so hard that it's like,
Right?
guess what? I can catch up on your clock and I'll follow you there. Let's
Yeah,
go.
no. That shark's got a boner for that chick, man. I was like, yeah.
The bone. Oh my god. So yeah, what do you all right, 3 last questions. 1, what do you want to be remembered for? 2, what's something you would like to obtain or do in the next 10 years? And thirdly, what is your lasting legacy? I guess that's the first thing. The first question was, but that's what I'm interested in. What do you want it to be known as?
Well, I can kind of combine all of that into one thing. I want to be remembered as just a good dude. Like I want people to remember me fondly. Like I'm not trying to take over the world or anything. I'm not. I don't want to be like the biggest actor in the world, although I wouldn't mind winning an award or two. Don't get
Yeah,
me wrong.
yeah,
But when it comes right down to lasting legacy, I just want everybody to remember the things I've tried to share with them, the mistakes I've made and how I've learned from them, and that they can also learn from them. That's really what I wanted to do. I just wanted to be a good mentor to anyone, because I really didn't have that when I was
yeah,
young. So it's important to me to try and instill that in my own kids and grandkids now.
yeah. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. Well, sir, I appreciate your time, man. Thank you very much for coming on.
That's been my pleasure, brother.
Oh yeah. This has been Actual Factual with Mr. Salvatore Jakobs. Go check out Bombchele and the Bangs. Go give them a follow. Go listen to their album. It's on Spotify, YouTube, everything. I'll drop a link in the
All of the
description.
things.
I'll drop a link in description. Anything else you want to plug before we leave?
Nope.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you guys, and as always, let's fucking go.